Eagle Tribune Thursday football show. Offensive Player of the Week, Brett Dattilo of Pinkerton Academy. Brett, coming off a huge game. You beat number 5 Salem last week in a big showdown everyone was talking about. You rushed for 19 times, 207 yards, 2 TDs. Take us through what it was like being the big hero of the early season game of the year in the Granite State.
Oh, it was great. Definitely wasn't expected, but definitely glad it happened. Just an incredible feeling, rush for that many yards and getting that many carries. It's just awesome.
There were a lot of people, and I think you alluded to it in some of your post-game interviews with David Willis and others. A lot of people were fashionably picking Salem. It was a tough club, and they nearly knocked you off in your unbeaten state champion season last year. Was that a motivating factor?
Oh, definitely a motivator. Salem's a great team. They've always stuck with us every year. It's always been 1 or 2 touchdowns, win or lose. And, it was definitely a shock seeing people rate us under them. But, definitely was a great motivator. Got us working hard all week during practice, and it was a great feeling to win.
Salem threw everything at you guys. They pulled within a touchdown fairly late, and you guys went on a massive marathon drive, which you capped off with an insurance TD in the final waning seconds. Take us through that last statement drive of Pinkerton's in that one.
It was just all about running the clock off, getting first downs, controlling the ball. It was nice. It was just we just had to do what we had to do, and we did it.
The old term we've heard a million times around here, Pinkerton's Pinkerton. So there's no rebuilding here. It's reloading. You go through a sort of a unique situation. T.J. Urbanek, who was probably the preseason player of the year in New Hampshire, determined late in the preseason, you know what, he can't go. He's injured, the knee, a bit of a surprise, and it turned out to be season-ending. Do you ever think all of this would happen with you, Brett, where now maybe you're the number 1 player in the state?
Yeah, I never thought of it like that. Losing TJ was a huge blow to our team, but we just remained strong. We just had to keep doing what we had to do, working hard each week. And I never expected to be up to TJ's caliber, but I'm definitely pumped about what's going on right now, though.
It's funny, Brett. I've heard a lot of, we always sort of expected Brett to do it, and he always had it in him. Don't know if I'm quite buying that. Last year, 14 Pinkerton players were first team or honorable mention, all D1 South. Young Brett Dattilo was not one of those 14. Did you ever expect this, rushing for 168 yards and 2 TDs as a junior to like a 1,800-yard, 30 TD pace as a senior?
No, definitely wasn't expecting, but I'm just glad it all came together like it did. My time to shine, I'm glad it's happening.
Seven TDs through 3 games, I think 440 yards rushing. What was it like growing up as the great Bobby Dattilo's brother? Such a phenomenal football player and more in lacrosse, has played several years in the Major League Lacrosse, and we got some cute pictures of you as a little ball boy. What was it like being part of that scene as a young kid and watching your brother do his magic for the Astros?
It was very cool. A lot of pressure, though. Big shoes to fill, definitely, but just trying to do my best to fill those shoes as much as I can, working hard, practicing all the time, doing what I can.
Has he been a mentor? He was Eagle Tribune Lacrosse Player of the Year. He was an All-American at Hobart. He was Eagle Tribune Athlete of the Year overall for his excellence at Hobart. How has he played into your athletic career?
Oh, my brother Bobby is a huge role model to me. He's definitely a mentor. He teaches me everything I know today. I'm very glad he's my brother. I love him.
How do you stay humble? How do you stay motivated? You're a little bit spoiled by success. Returning Eagle Tribune All-Star, already committed to UMass Lowell Division I for lacrosse, unbeaten state champ in football, putting up these huge numbers, state champ in lacrosse. How do you keep motivated and not to get a little soft and complacent and figure the titles just come?
I don't know. It's just not me. I'm just not a type of kid that's cocky all the time. So I don't know. Just normal, staying humble, I guess.
And you committed quite early to UMass Lowell lacrosse. Everything secure in that commitment?
Yes, very secure. I'm very excited about that for the future.
With all the football success, big man, did you ever think of, hey, maybe my future could be on the gridiron as you're tearing it up this fall?
Yeah, maybe. But no, lacrosse has always been my favorite sport. I love football too, but yeah, lacrosse has definitely been my number one, and I'm definitely excited about what's going on, what's happening with that.
There you have it. Two-time state champion, Brett Dattilo. With North Andover's Luke Caporale, our Eagle Tribune Thursday football show lineman of the week. Luke, 6 tackles, 2 sacks, dominating two-way effort, leading the O-line, also 250 yards rushing, 21-6 big win over Acton Boxborough. Take us through last week.
We were really excited to get after it. Coming off a big win against Woburn, we wanted to have a good week of practice, and we did, and we felt confident going into the game.
You see a lot of teams, Luke, and then to be perfectly frank, they got the cream puff non-league schedules with a lot of automatic wins. It didn't look like the Knights did that this year, as you said, with Woburn and AB. Had a bit combined 17-5 overall records last year. You like playing the tough non-league schedule, or is it nice to ease into it and get a couple 42-6 wins?
We love the tough schedule. We love it. The Merrimack Valley Conference is a tough conference, and the best people who can play the better.
And jump into the league schedule this week with Haverhill. Had a couple really fine matchups last year, including in the playoffs. Thoughts on playing the Hillies?
We're really excited. I mean, we're excited for it, and we're ready to get after it. And we've had a good week so far. I'm ready.
Nice progression, Luke. Hey, North Andover, all we heard, rebuilding. Then you beat Woburn. Well, maybe they're partially rebuilding. Then you beat AB. Now you're 23rd in the ESPN Boston statewide poll. What does it mean to start getting a little love from the media?
We love the respect. I mean, we don't buy into it too much because we know that it's just other people here and there. We know what's inside the group, so it's good.
What's it meant to you, Luke, being named tri-captain this season?
I mean, it meant a ton. Coach John Rafferty and Coach Kevin Slattery, I mean, those are 2 guys that I have a ton of respect for, and to be thought of that by them is really, really special.
And, are you still tight with them? Is it, that they've moved on and that's the way it goes?
No.
You still text or call? Or?
They're North Andover for life, I'm sure. Coach Slattery's here for his daughter all the time, and
okay.
Saw him in the summer, talked to him a little bit. Coach Rafferty, we saw him at 7-on-7s because he's over at Stoneham. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, great guys. I love them.
What do you like better, O-line or D-line?
I played O-line longer. I like offensive line a little bit better, yeah.
And is it tough going both ways? You're not a massive kid, but 6'3", 225, not a small guy, and it's been terribly humid. Is that a difficult task to go both ways in a league like the MVC in this sort of hot weather?
I mean, it's something that I'm accustomed to. I went a little bit both ways last year, and, we got after it this summer, so, I mean, it was something we were prepared for.
Oh, there's not 2 Luke Caporales out there. You were the Little League star, right?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
What happened, Big Luke? Are you just a football player these days?
Yeah, I switched over to lacrosse freshman, 8th grade, actually, after my Little League run. But, yeah.
Because was that Dad coaching
you guys?
Yeah,
that was my dad.
And what are your thoughts? Are you looking to play college ball? Or?
Yeah, I'd really love to. I love football, and I'm not ready to quit it yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, and how were the grades?
They're okay. Yeah, it'd be average around there.
Good.
Yep.
What do you? Who should we be? You guys have overcome a little bit of adversity, or more than a little bit of adversity. You get a new coach. That's never easy. Coach John Dobzinski. You got some injuries with Watson there. How have you guys been able to do the old Patriot, do your job and move on routine when you had some built-in excuses maybe to struggle a bit?
Yeah, it's next man up. I mean, we're deep. We like to. I mean, there's other players that can fill the roles. I mean, Tayshawn going down, that's a blow. I mean, I love Tayshawn, and that sucks for him, but it's next man up.
Good stuff. Next man up. This guy's always ready. Luke Caporale.
Welcome back, everyone. We are really in full swing now. The high school football season's going. We are in our 3rd week of making picks, and Mike, I think we've got the entire scene nailed. I gotta say, it's been pretty amazing.
I think I'm up like 15 or 16 games on you, but keep on fighting, Big Dave. And
I don't think that's true. But anyway, we go on to this week. We push through, and we're going to start with Friday's games, and we are going to look at a rematch of last year's Division II North title game. North Andover goes to Haverhill High School. North Andover off to a great start. They're 2-0. Haverhill not off to such a good start. They're 0-2. this looks like, North Andover's going to make it 3 in a row in 2 years.
I think with Ryan Good and Juca Morales bringing their A games for the Knights, I can't see Haverhill being able to generate enough offense to take them down.
Yeah, Morales had 2 more touchdowns last week. I think Haverhill is going to progress as the season goes on, but North Andover in this one. Okay, now we go over to a big New Hampshire matchup. It is Salem coming off that tough loss to Pinkerton, going to Red Hot Timberlane, which is they're both 2-1. Timberlane's won their last 2 straight. Salem lost to Pinkerton, but did battle them. They did cut it to a one touchdown game with about 7 minutes left. This is a very interesting game.
It really is. I think this could be a game, we're talking about it at the end of the year, is a real memorable one. I think if you look at it, it seems like Salem. They gave Pinkerton the real tough go of it. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe a little bit of a letdown. You get all fired up. It's homecoming. You give it a great go against vaunted Pinkerton. You fall just short on a late TD to finally seal it in the last minute. Maybe Timberlane, a little fresher, a little more confident, bringing their A game a little bit more. So I think maybe Jacob Post and Mr. Fury knock them off in a mild upset. It's number 5 versus number 6 in the New Hampshire, or whatever it is, WMUR poll. And going a mini upset, we'll go with the Owls.
I'm also going to go with the Owls. Tyler Fury, by the way, maybe had the best game of his career, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. So he's sort of getting hot now. And we go on, Central Catholic coming off that heartbreaking loss to St. John's Prep. They're hosting a Chelmsford team, which, historically we think of Chelmsford as a very tough team. They're 0-2 this year. They're a little bit down. Looks like Central's going to get back on the horse.
Yeah, and you wonder how that the hazing scandal that's been in the front page of the Lowell Sun is going to affect them. That tends to be a tough situation when you're dealing with that sort of stuff. You can't see Central, giving away 2 in a row. They're the heck of an effort versus St. John's. They're kicking themselves. They had it for 43 minutes, whatever the heck it was, and let it slip from their fingers. Can't see letting this one slip away.
Yeah, it looks like Central's going to take this one. Now we go to the MAC-Plaque competition. Londonderry is going to Pinkerton. Pinkerton, of course, couldn't be hotter. They're 3-0. Londonderry's 0-2. They had a decent showing last week against Exeter. But I can't imagine Pinkerton's not going to take this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Sweet 16, 16th straight for overall win for the Astros, who were 12-0 last year, giving them 4-0 this year.
As good as Brett Dattilo was, and Brett Dattilo was tremendous, a lot of players contributed to that win. Our quarterback, whose name I'm blanking on right now, he had a great game.
Albrecht.
Yeah, Albrecht had a terrific game, and a lot of guys played a good game. So it wasn't just Brett Dattilo. Okay, now we go back to Massachusetts. BC High is traveling to Andover. Speaking of hot players, EJ Perry 4 threw 5 touchdowns last week on the first 5 possessions of the game. But BC High is coming in absolutely scintillating. They've scored 82 points in 2 games. They've only allowed 19. Golden Warriors are in for a tough one here.
Yeah. Not that Andover couldn't win it. You look at that 61-6 over Barnstable. That tells you a lot about BC High, and it might even tell you more about Barnstable. You can't give up 61 points.
It's ridiculous.
And they did struggle against a quality Reading club in the first, in the opener, the Eaglets did. So it's not like, it's a Catholic Conference team, nobody can touch them, because Reading was right there to the bitter end. Stephen Timmons, 3 TDs each of the last 2 weeks, so it could be a bit of a Timmons versus Perry shootout. Probably 61-6, though, 61-6. I think I'm going with the Eaglets in that one.
I'm going to go with BC High, too, but by a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a blow-up, but I do think BC High in that one. Lawrence, off to a nice 2-0 start. They're traveling to Billerica. Lawrence, it's a little bit of a tough spot here.
Yeah, this will be a big one for Lawrence. Of course, they had the huge one over Lowell, beating them for the first time in 30 years. There was no letdown last week, so give them an A for their early season performance. It's going to be a statement game. You win this and you say, yeah, we're not just pretty good, we're not capable of a nice effort, we're a real quality team. There'll be no questions left, no cynics, no nothing if Lawrence wins this. The Santos Morales defensive line might be the best in the MVC. I don't know, Derek Laundrie, the Towson lacrosse commit, scored 4 TDs last week. I'm going to air the dirty laundry and say the Indians take it.
Yeah, I'm going to also. Methuen has the game number 2 in their brand new, shiny, beautiful stadium, and maybe they can celebrate with a win this week. They're playing host to Drake. Drake, it's 0-2. Methuen, Andover beat them, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was close to the end, but they showed some signs of life. I like Methuen.
Yeah, I think Methuen has to be smarting over that one. It had the feel of it. Maybe they could knock off Andover, and you can't give up TD passes in 5-for-5 possessions. That's just unacceptable if you want to
say offensively they showed some life.
Okay. But Drake had lost to Wilmington 32-18. They gave up 300-plus yards on the ground. Kendrick Denos is a real fine runner. Brian McAndrew, obviously a quality back. They got to be their eyes have to be as big as saucers looking at the porous defense that Drake had showed last week. Methuen wins it.
All right, wrapping up the Friday slate, we got North Reading at Somerville.
Somerville is hard to figure. They are in a high league in the GBL and stuff, but there are some real haves and have-nots in the GBL. Greater Lawrence Tech already beat them. They're winless, so you think Cal against GBL, how in the heck could it happen? But it's happened, and it's happened far too often if you're a GBL supporter, so I think North Reading beats them.
I agree, on Hornets. And Georgetown at Manchester. I'm going to have to go with Manchester Essex in that one.
Go with Manchester as well.
Okay, we go on to Saturday, and of course the big story of Saturday, Coach Steve Hayden at Pentucket going for his 200th win against, conveniently, or poetically I guess, their Thanksgiving rival, Triton. Pentucket's looked absolutely tremendous so far. They've outscored their opponents 63-6. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they've played the greatest opponent so far, but still, that's a lot of lot of results, and they've looked a lot cleaner than at least I thought they were going to this early in the season.
Yeah, you have to dig a little deeper on the numbers. Pentucket's early season slate has been less than challenging, and Triton, they're 2-0, but they've been 2 very tight wins, and again, they haven't exactly played St. John's Prep and Everett. Just looking at the 2 clubs that way, I think Pentucket has the better club, and Steve Hayden becomes the 49th coach in Massachusetts high school history to join 200-win club.
Triton barely got past Amesbury. Pentucket whooped Amesbury, so I'm going to go Pentucket also. Wyndham going for, I can't remember how many straight wins, but since the 2013 season, they're going to Sanborn. Wyndham's going to keep it.
Yeah, it's unbeaten versus winless. Too much Matt Shea.
Matt Shea's been absolutely awesome. He's come right in there and fit right in. He's been awesome. Lynn Tech going to Whittier. Whittier is off to a tough start. That tends to make me think Lynn Tech.
Yeah, and Lynn Tech, they might be the cream of the Commonwealth Conference. Threw a big scare into Triton last week, so that's an impressive effort by them. So looks like Lynn Tech is the club.
Yeah, Greater Lawrence going to Greater Lowell.
With the Reggies, I'm hearing some good reports on Edgardo Garcia, that he really is a defensive player to watch, an Eagle Tribune caliber ball player. So I think Edgardo and the Reggies pull this one out.
Milford going to Pelham.
Yeah, Loomis, it's always nice to have a game under your belt. They beat Lawrenceville 48-28 last week, so I will go with the Pelicans.
And Pomfret going to Brooks, of course, led by former Pentucket star Pat Fryermuth. I've seen Pat play a lot. I like Pat, so just based on that, I'm going to go with Brooks.
Yeah, I'd heard early reports about how tough Pomfret was, so I went to my max preps, and they were 2-6 last year. I don't know, maybe it's a quality league, maybe it isn't. 2-6. I think Brooks, no post Chris Cervisi fatigue, and they showed last year was no fluke, and Brooks takes it.
All right, that's our story. Let's see what happens.